Hello and welcome to Becks.Drives. Right, so today we're looking at Automobilista 2, or perhaps it's meant to be pronounced as Automobilista 2, I don't know. More specifically, we're looking at the Porsche 911 GT3 R. So why just this car? Well, I recently did a video on rFactor 2 where I drove the Porsche for the very first time, and yeah, I was absolutely blown away by how incredible the driving experience is in that game. So I thought, you know what, let's try the same car on the very same track, the Nordschleife, to see how it compares to rFactor 2's version. So I'm going to be talking whilst driving and giving you my first impressions of the game. And if you haven't seen the rFactor 2 video, I'll leave a link in the description for you below. Alright, so one lap around the Nordschleife against the AI. Here we go, let's do it. Alright, here we are about to start the race. Now, I am going to be talking whilst driving, so forgive me if I'm, if my driving's a bit sloppy. So here we go. Let's do it. Now I'm going to take it easy and let the AI go ahead a little bit, because I do want to see them battling in front of me, and so you guys can see that as well. I'm loving those bumps already on this track. Yeah, immediately I can tell you that the force feedback feels absolutely incredible in this game. They've done a fantastic job on it, really. I can feel everything that the car is doing, what the game is trying to communicate to me. And especially those bumps on this track, it all feels incredible. Would I say it's as good as rFactor 2 in terms of force feedback? I don't think so, but it does come close, and that is a compliment, really. Anything that comes close to rFactor 2's force feedback is quite a compliment, because that is absolutely sublime when it comes to the force feedback. Now, as you can probably see, I've got a huge amount of flex in this cockpit, and what that means is I'm losing a lot of force feedback detail. And even with all that flex, I'm still getting a great experience with the force feedback. So, if I upgrade my cockpit, hopefully in the future, it's just going to be even better. And it'll feel even better again with a better wheel. I'm using a T300 here, so combination of a better cockpit, a more rigid cockpit, and a better wheel. Yeah, this will feel fantastic, because it already does. So. My driving's a bit sloppy. Bit of oversteer there on trail braking. That's one thing I've noticed on this car. It doesn't really like to be trail brake too much whilst turning. Tends to snap the back just like it did there. So we're going to tell you about how it drives other than the trail braking. Well, compared to rFactor 2, I think this is a little bit more unstable and it's very bouncy. You've probably noticed that for yourself by now. The car is very, very bouncy. And I don't expect a GT3 Porsche in real life to be this bouncy. Now I suspect that is something to do with the setup, and I'm sure it can be dialed out with the proper setup. But with this default setup, it's not really convincing me that I'm driving a GT3 class race car. Now, of course, I haven't driven one in real life, as I'm sure many of you haven't, but I mean, yeah, I don't expect that to be like that. So yeah, it's definitely a setup issue, I reckon. And in comparison to rFactor 2, I mean, that one is, it just gives me a sense of control, really. I feel in control of the car. It makes me believe that I'm driving a GT3 race car. I'm just going to back off, and I want the AI to go ahead of me. So that's the thing. I mean, with simulation software, and I mean, which one convinces me more that I'm driving a GT3 class race car? And that is definitely rFactor 2 in this case. Now, I'm not bashing on Automobilista 2 here. I'm on the limiter there. I still think this is fantastic. But I just want to see it get better. And I'm constantly going on the limiter. I'm not concentrating. Now, as you can see, the AI, they're behaving quite well. Oh, Becks, concentrate. What am I doing? Yeah, they seem to battle each other, and I have actually seen them make mistakes, which is pretty cool to see. And they do take a cautionary line as well. So if you got the inside, they will take the outside. I'll slow down. So overall, I'm quite impressed with the AI. And that's one thing that it does do better than rFactor 2, is that you can just jump into a race, you know, pick how many opponents, pick your car, pick your track, and just go racing. And the load times are quick. You know, with rFactor 2, it's not that simple. I mean, it takes a while to get a race going without any sort of, you know, bizarre behavior from the AI. Or yeah, so I'm really impressed with how you know, overall ease of use with Automobilista 2. And we'll just overtake them now. What else can I tell you about the game? So visually, I mean, visually it looks great. I've got everything cranked up to the max right now at 4K resolution. Nothing really to complain about. Overall, I'd say Assetto Corsa Competizione does look better overall. But I mean, this still looks pretty damn good. And in terms of the sound, I do like the sound. I'd say rFactor 2's got a little bit, sounds a little bit more realistic to me, but it's not that far off really. And there we are, there's a lap of the Nordschleife. Alrighty, well that about wraps it up. Now, what I forgot to mention whilst I was racing was that this game is continually being updated, so it's only going to get better with time. Just recently, they added some Group C cars and a classic version of Spa, which is always great to see. I'm glad to see the developers continually working on this game. I'm having a blast with it. I think it's fantastic and can't wait to see you know, where it goes from here. So really excited to try out the rest of the cars as well. That's about it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.